Have you ever wondered if lead generation on Facebook is still possible at less than $1 per lead? Would you like to know about quizzes? Hey, Rory F. Stern here, founder and chief strategist for RFS Digital Media. And in this case study, I want to go over a campaign we ran from, let's call it late 2016, and we'll look at the exact dates in a little bit here. Late 2016 to, let's call it mid 2017, where one of our primary jobs was to generate leads using a quiz. The prior agency that was running ads was running them was running the ads and getting leads for around 12 or 13 cents average CPL, which is just unheard of. I mean, it's just a magical number. People salivate over it. Is it really possible to generate leads that cheaply, that efficiently? Can you still get away with it? And the answer is a resounding yes, you absolutely can. Now, the reality is what you want to look at when setting up a quiz or any kind of lead generation strategy at all, forget whether it's a quiz or not, any kind of lead generation, I will be honest with you and tell you that I don't care how much I pay for a lead, as long as it turns into a customer and there is a definitive, measurable, trackable ROI. Notice I didn't say profit. I just said an ROI. What's my return on investment? A lot of people want to talk about making money. What's the X ROI I can get from my lead generation, from my marketing efforts online? And a lot of people forget that there is profitable, advertising at a profit, advertising at break even, and of course, advertising at a loss, because your back end over time will churn out X amount of dollars for every dollar you put in. And it's why certain companies are more successful than others. It's why certain companies can pay more to acquire a lead. And I'll be honest with you, after reviewing this campaign, I will tell you with great confidence that I will gladly pay $1, $2, $5 for a lead all day, every day, if it means that it turns into a raving fan, a customer, somebody that we can serve and help and impact in this world. But again, of course, it's also really exciting to say, hey, we can generate 13-cent leads at volume. We can generate 58-cent leads at volume. It's still possible. The question you want to be answering or asking yourself, is, what's the return that you're going to get? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. This was a quiz. The ad ran to the targets, basically saying, would you like to know more about this? Or do you have, this happening to you, and to what degree? It was in the alternative health space. Just for full transparency, which if you haven't learned by now, I am brutally honest and fully transparent. So I'll fall on my sword when things go wrong. So anyway, let's dig in a little bit here and just take a look that, yes, over time, we generated 36,790 leads for 13 cents a pop. So let's go dig at that and take a look at the lifetime of the campaign. As I said, we ran this from November to, the end of the first, beginning of the second quarter of 2017. So 2016 to 2017. We started out simply by coming in and picking up where the previous agency had left off. And sadly, they were doing a great job. When I came in and looked and did the audit, I was like, why am I even here? And well, I was here because that agency just up and disappeared. They just stopped responding. You can see consistently here, we spent $2.50 a day across 6 ad sets. We could have scaled that up. We could have been bringing in hundreds of thousands of leads. If we look at, let's just grab a date, November 17th, we generated 158 leads that day. We could have easily scaled that up to, 500, 1,000, 2,000 leads a day for what we were spending. The problem was we were not generating an ROI, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is this was one set of interests. We also tried lookalikes based on the client's customers, and they went up to 58 cents a lead. So 1,049 leads at 58 cents a pop. Would you still take that? Absolutely. We also did a test to say to the client, listen, we can generate leads to other more active targets, because the question became, why are we generating so many leads? I mean, we spent $5,310.91 to generate 37,840 leads between November and, let's just for the sake of it, call it November 2016 to April 2017. As you saw, a clip of about, give or take, 200 leads a day. And the question became, why weren't we scaling? Why weren't we making money off of this? And what a lot of people don't understand is when you have a relationship, a good relationship with your media buyer, or when you find the right media buyer, the client brings a skill set to the table, the media buyer brings a skill set to the table. They come together and collaborate. It's not supposed to be adversarial. So in this case, unfortunately, we did not have a back-end offer that was converting. It wasn't taking, $1 in ad spend and spitting out $1. It wasn't spitting out $2. And we spent a lot of time brainstorming, how do we make this offer convert? How do we make this offer convert? And unfortunately, we didn't get there. And this is, rather than get into all the details of why that didn't work, it is something that's very frustrating and painful for me, not because it wasn't a win for us, but because it wasn't a win for the client. And it really is upsetting when you're sitting on the verge of something so spectacular where you can reach people, impact people, make a difference in their lives, and yet it just doesn't turn out that way. So at the end of the day, what I'll tell you is, when you come to a media buyer, when you look at the numbers, and you have to let the numbers do the talking with everything, with paid traffic, and in fact with your business. But the reality is, you have to have singular focus. You have to look at this and go, wow, I'm generating, again, roughly 200 leads per day at 14 cents per lead. How do I make that work? How do I get that to work? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. So yes, this case study really is about, hey, look what you can do. Look what can be done. But it's also about, you've got to have that back end in place. Just because you can generate leads cheaply doesn't mean that you're going to be able to build a business off of it in the back end. So I encourage you, don't get caught up in the, what's my cost per lead? Is it low enough? What's my CPC? Is it low enough? You want to look at dollar in, dollar out. Is it trackable? Is it measurable? Is it scalable? And are you generating an ROI? Again, not my proudest moment here, because again, it wasn't a total victory, but this will show you lead generation is still very, very possible when you do it right and you have the right market message match. But more importantly is the offer. You have to have a strong offer on the back end. Otherwise, all of your front end efforts are for naught.